Ayo, welcome to episode 23 of Create This Book by Mariah Elizabeth and Ashleigh Monet. That will be me. We are back, another round to Create This Book. I honestly don't want to waste any time talking about it. We have 4 prompts to tackle this week. So enough of me talking, let's jump right in and see what I can create. Alrighty, prompt number 1. Create a combo. Choose 2 of your favorite people, animals, or objects. Combine them. This is one of those prompts that I wish I could do like 10 times because I had just too many ideas. I mean, person, animal, or object, that's just like too many potential combos. I ultimately decided to try to combine 2 of my favorite foods. I love food, it is my addiction, and if you ask me what my favorite food is, like there is just no way I can narrow it down to one food.
Impossible.
But I could probably come up with a top 10, and for this prompt, I went with 2 from that list. The first being tacos. I love tacos in every form they come in, from the cheap mystery meat Taco Bell style to the genuine street tacos with carne asada. Call me crazy, but you just can't screw up tacos. The second, mac and cheese. I love mac and cheese. Forget any nutritional value. It's just such a comfort meal, like carb heavy, warm, cheesy, just scrumptious. So here we are. We're going to create a mashup food out of these 2. I decided to start with a crispy taco shell, then have that gooey mac and cheese just dripping out of it. And then I debated for a while what my taco fillings would be, but I settled with a nice shredded beef like barbacoa and topped that with a nice little pico de gallo salsa. That's cilantro, jalapeno, tomatoes, and onions. Nom, 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 nom. Time to add some color to this masterpiece. That is what's going to truly bring it to life. I chose my good old alcohol markers for the base and then went through with some colored pencils at the end for more shading and texture. I love that combo. It always leads to a good looking piece. And I can't lie, I thought long and hard about this creation and whether or not it would actually be tasty. I mean, the taste would for sure be on point, but I'm a little dubious about the texture. Like, I don't know if it would work. I truly might have to commit to concocting this in real life just to give it a try, like just to know. But we have one more step to make it pop. It's juicy highlight time. Okay, yes, that looks good and tasty, but this hybrid food needs a hybrid name. I mean, we can't just call it the mac and cheese taco. Like, that's lame. Instead, we're gonna call it the mac and choco. TM. Oh, yes, I love that. Obviously, the letters that I derived from mac and cheese, I drew them to be drippy and gooey and cheesy. Meanwhile, the letters that came from taco, I just kind of copied that taco shell look. I love that. It's perfect. Now we need a good background for these drawings. In my mind, this fresh looking blue was really going to make the kind of yellowy orange of that mac and cheese really pop. And I don't know, someone out there might really like this, but I absolutely did not. I can't with this blue. So I needed to change it up, and if you've been here a while, you already know my theory. When in doubt, black it out. Yes, we're gonna revert to the Ashleigh Monet comfort zone of a nice black background. But I was determined to not play it safe, so it's time to bust out the splatter mat because yes, we're gonna add some paint splatter. I went with that mac and cheese golden yellow, like the cheese sauce has just dripped and splashed everywhere. Okay, background done. Now let's glue in our mac and choco. Oh, yes, that's wonderful. I love it. Such a fun combo. Again, I had like 20 different ideas for this prompt, but I'm super happy with this choice. Viva el mac and choco! Next up, we have create a wall. Pretend this page is a wall. Add graffiti to it. Let me tell ya, this prompt had some drama. When it said to add graffiti to the wall, my mind immediately goes to Banksy. He's a legendary street artist. His work has become wildly popular, and honestly, for good reason. His art evokes a lot of emotion, and he creates it anonymously. His identity remains unconfirmed, so although his work is very valuable, he doesn't get paid for it. One thing that can be said is a lot of his pieces are very politically charged, which is so up my alley. I love the kind of art that makes you think. I didn't go that direction for this page though. After all, French street artist, my stencil already nailed my exact views perfectly with this one. So instead, I went a little more Ashleigh Monet and decided to channel a horror theme. And this is what I came up with. I was ready to put this in the book, but I kept looking at it and I just don't like it. As you can see, this was the Danny scene from The Shining where he's riding his little red rum. And I was trying to create that stenciled graffiti look with the textures of it. And I don't know, something didn't work. It is not coming across the way I wanted it to. It's not translating and I hate it. Now, I know it would have been a disservice not to show this mistake. I did work really hard on it, and I assume you all would have wanted to see it if I had brought it up. What can I say? Some days I just don't have it. I'm not going to make art that I love 100% of the time. That's the reality, and I'm absolutely okay with people seeing my fudge ups on camera, but I'm not okay with it being in my book. I want my book to be filled with art I'm proud of, and this just ain't it. So, RIP first attempt. We're going to try something else. I'm abandoning this whole graffiti concept and instead just focusing on the wall aspect. I do still want my wall to have a horror touch to it though. I had an idea to make this page spread look like a dingy old wall with peeling wallpaper. So first up, I need to create the wall itself. I used acrylic paint to make this kind of weathered, dirty base color, and then dabbed a little darker brown all over it for that extra distressed look and texture. Once that was dry, I needed to add my wallpaper. I took the liberty of printing off that ornate damask printed background that I use all over my channel onto a sheet of paper because now the wallpaper is going to scream Ashleigh Monet. I love it. But this is where things got a little tricky. I said I wanted that torn, peeling wallpaper look, and I assumed I could just, tear the paper and it would pull up anywhere that I hadn't glued it down. A very controlled tear, if you will. But in reality, the glue was super weak and a firm pull would literally tear the whole thing up, even where I had glued it down. So instead I had to work very small, very slow, and very precise with my little tears. Well, let's just say it took a while. Okay, can't lie though. It was worth the struggle. I think it looks so good. I did want to add a little something to the wall. Not graffiti per se, but a nice little handwritten message. Welcome home, dripping in blood. All right, fellow horror enthusiasts might recognize this reference from The Haunting of Hill House. And I guess also the 1999 remake of The Haunting. All of these stories stem from the 1959 novel, The Haunting of Hill House. That was adapted into the 1963 movie, The Haunting, which was remade in 1999. And then Netflix rebooted the novel with a miniseries, although that one honestly strayed the most from the original story. It was still pretty good though. A good little horror watch. Anyways, it's what's inspiring this page. The struggle to zhuzh up this prompt is so real right now. This is an ongoing theme in this episode. I make mistake after mistake after mistake, from picking the wrong background color in the last prompt to redoing this entire spread. And I continue to struggle in the next two prompts. I'm just not myself when it comes to art right now. It's taking way more effort to make art that I'm happy with, which is odd for me, but one thing is for sure, I don't give up. But okay, I wanted some more visual interest added to this wall page, and with The Haunting of Hill House in mind, I decided to go with the bent neck lady, because she was scary as hell. Definitely one of the best parts of the show. Now we can glue her in front of the wall. Yeah. Okay, I know we took some twists and turns to get here, but I am really happy with the finished page. I'm sure there are some of you who liked the first one better. That's cool, but don't tell me that, okay? I like this one so much more, so we're gonna live in the now. This is the winner. All right, next prompt. Create timed decoration. Use a timer to decorate this page in exactly 10 minutes. No more, no less. Okay, fair warning, I took this prompt very seriously as far as the time constraints. As you can see, I've got my 10-minute timer set, and go. Okay, so first and foremost, I had determined that the only way I would be able to get color all over this page in 10 minutes was to use paint. It's just the fastest medium. Second off, I did not sketch for this piece. I thought of that as cheating because it was literally spending additional time outside of the 10 minutes working on the page. With that in mind, I had to choose a subject that I felt confident that I could freehand. Oi, I went with a light bulb. This was my inspiration. Now let's be real. This piece almost certainly took the artist more than 10 minutes to create, but I thought if I could simplify it, I could really make it happen. So first priority was getting the base colors down with watercolor. I feel like I was incredibly efficient with this step. It only took me 2 minutes and 47 seconds. So I was finished and able to stop the clock at 7 minutes, 13 seconds. I did think it was fair to let the paint dry off the clock since that's not time I spent working on the piece. And once it was dry, back in, 7 minutes, 13 seconds on the clock. Okay, so as far as what to put in the light bulb, I felt comfortable freehanding a butterfly. I don't know why I chose that or felt confident in that ability. Like, butterflies are perfectly symmetrical. Symmetry is definitely something that benefits from a sketch. So my butterfly is a little wonky. It is what it is. I kept my outlines really loose and sketchy. Honestly, this wasn't really a stylistic choice, but rather something I decided to do, just trying to disguise any imperfections in the line work, because obviously there were a lot. Like, I was trying to go so fast, it was bound to be sloppy. Still, I tried to make it sort of special with some juicy highlights. And at this point, I had nothing on the left side of the page and only had 1 minute and 10 seconds to go. I panicked and decided to quickly and sloppily write the only inspirational quote I could think of that was related to light. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Oh, Martin Luther King Jr., what a guy. In the finishing seconds, I frantically sped to put this crooked as hell border around the whole thing. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well, that's it. Glued it into the book, and here's the page. I did my best. Oddly, I'm simultaneously impressed with what I accomplished in the time, but I'm also underwhelmed with the end result. Like, I'm just not a 10-minute page type of girly. Okay, on to the last prompt. Create an unusual superpower. Come up with an original superhero. Give him or her an unusual superpower. Now, I jumped into this prompt without really considering what it was asking me to do. For whatever reason, like, my brain blocked out the superhero aspect of it and just honed in on the superpower. I thought about what superpower I would like to have if I could have any. I would love to have the ability to take over someone else's body and force them to do what I wanted. What would you call that? Like, the only term coming to mind is possession, although that makes me sound like a demon. Maybe I am. But yeah, just being able to use someone else as a vessel to do my bidding. Now, here's an important detail about this super ability that I'd want to have. While taking over somebody else, I still want to be able to have control over my body and cognitive function as normal. Like, I don't want to go into an astral state and leave my body vacant. Like, that defeats the purpose. Because you see, the point of this superpower is the ability to be in 2 places at once, to do 2 things at once. There is a very practical application for this superpower, and it's one that I've talked about with my husband. I'm a busy girl, and he is always down to help me with any task to lighten my load. The issue is, if I need his help with anything that he's never done before, then I have to explain how to do that thing. Well, the process of teaching someone how to help essentially voids the help, because in theory, it would just be faster to do it myself. I can't tell you how many times I've said, "Oh, Cody, I wish I could just put my brain in your body and get it done." Well, this is how I would do that. So I drew just that. On one side, we've got my essence controlling my husband, Cody. And on the other side, well, there I am, able to go on about my business. But it was here that I realized, oh crap, I was supposed to create a superhero to have this superpower. Like, it wasn't supposed to be about me. I mean, I already drew myself. There's no backpedaling on that. But okay, let's give this hero a name. I thought and thought and thought, and the only thing that came through was the Mind Flayer. And yes, this is when I realized that I hadn't even come up with a unique superpower. There is already a creature that exists that does exactly what I want to do, and that is the Mind Flayer from Dungeons and Dragons. So, okay, I fail on this prompt, like zero originality. But you know what? We're going to go with it though. In the game, Mind Flayers look humanoid, but with an octopus-like head. So that's why I drew her kind of doing like that Superman busting open the shirt to reveal an octopus symbol. I'm grasping at straws here, okay? In fact, as the piece progressed, it started feeling more and more like this character was a super villain as opposed to a superhero, which, you know what? Fine. I'll accept that. There certainly is a more insidious use for such a superpower. Like, imagine all of the crimes you could commit in someone else's body and have your ironclad alibi because real you was spotted somewhere else. Woohoo! Yes, you could get into all kinds of mischief. So I was super happy with this piece coming together, but I told you guys I struggled with every prompt in this episode. Well, truth be told, this is the second time I drew this page. I didn't bother to save the original drawing for this one because it was the exact same idea. This one is just better drawn. But man, this episode took far longer to create than any other I've done since starting YouTube. I don't know. Hopefully I can pull myself out of this funk. Alrighty, paint is dry. Now I want to try and make this line work look a little bit more comic booky to feed into that superhero or villain theme. Let's try it. All right, that kind of helped. It kind of works. Of course, I need to go in with some highlights. I really want to focus over here on the left side, really make it feel kind of mystical. This Mind Flayer taking over, it's magic. We need sparkles and stuff. Finished it off with a nice border, signed and dated the page. And that mouth was bugging me, so I tweaked it a little bit. And yeah, I think that's good. Over to the prompt, it needs a little zhuzh. We've got this little superhero cape, so let's go ahead and use some colored pencils. And we're of course gonna make it purple to match the page we just did. Nothing too fancy. But to add a little bit of that magic back in, let's do some more sparkle highlights. Oh, and might as well cross out original superhero since we've established this isn't an original idea at all. And we can glue it in. Original or not, I actually am super happy with this page. I love how it came out. Second time's the charm. But yeah, I would love to have this superpower. What about you guys? Like, what superpower would you most like to have? Anyways, after many, many moons, this episode is finished. Hallelujah. We created a combo. The Mac and Choco really got me thinking of trying to make this because I love this page. We created a wall. Again, on the second go around, I ended up with a page that I actually really like. We based it on The Haunting of Hill House. It's good and spooky. We created time decoration, completing this page in only 10 minutes. Now that amount of time was just not enough for me, but I mean, I made a fairly complete looking page, so yeah. And lastly, we created an unusual superpower, or rather a superpower that absolutely already existed. You know what though? I don't care. I love the page. I think it's a tie with the Mac and Choco for my favorite of the week. That's it. Some of these prompts were kind of tricky this week. Some of them were really fun though. And every time I have to tease, we're getting closer and closer to finishing. We only have 4 more episodes of Create This Book after this. So we're gonna rally, we're gonna get them done. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.